Today we're looking at Jose Mourinho's 4-3-1-2 tactic that got him so much success at Porto, winning the UEFA Cup in 2003 and then the Champions League in 2004, and that kick-started his career to being one of the best managers of all time. So we're going to take a look with three teams. Firstly, as you can see, we'll be checking this out with Porto, we're going to check it out with Aston Villa, and we will be checking it out with Crawley as well before jumping into the tactic and showing you exactly how this works in game. So as you can see, we have won 4 trophies this season at Porto. We have won their version of the Super Cup. We managed to beat Benfica 2-1 in extra time there. We unfortunately lost out in the Allianz Cup. I think that's their version of the League Cup. And then we won the Taça de Portugal. And in the final of that, we beat Sporting 3-0. An absolute battering of them. Champions League, unfortunately, we finished third in our group with Bayern, PSV, ourselves and Celtic, before going on and winning the Europa League, beating Manchester United 3-0 in the final, beating one of Mourinho's former sides, as well as winning the Liga de Portugal, 6 points clear of Benfica. We'll take a look, we'll see how we got on in the Europa League. So we joined in the knockout playoff round, we beat Sturm 6-3 in aggregate before beating Liverpool 4-2. In the quarterfinals, we beat Real Betis 4-3, and then we beat Milan 4-3 in the semi-final before, as we saw, the 3-0 victory over Manchester United. We'll now take a look at the league, and we will take a look and see exactly how we've done. So we won 27 games, drew 5, and lost 2 with a goal difference of 67 for an 86 point tally there. Looking at the table in full detail, we can see we scored 98 goals, conceded 31, finishing 6 points above Benfica in second, with Sporting coming in third some way off. Looking at the stats now, we'll see we scored the most goals, 98, we scored 7 more than Benfica. In terms of most shots, 597. Few shots against, we're sitting in second, just a few more shots than Benfica. In terms of possession stats, we only had 54% of the possession, so we were the 6th best there. And the fewest conceded, we were second with only 31 goals conceded. In terms of player stats, take a look, we can see most goals, we have Dani Namaso with 18 down in 4th and Evan Nielsen with 15. In terms of assists, Steven Estaquio, probably butchered that, 18 assists, Nico with 9 and Tony Martinez with 9 as well. In terms of the most shots, Dani Namaso with 81, Tony Martinez up there as well with 71. Player of the matches, we've got Evan Nielsen with 5 and Dani Namaso in the top few players. Most key passes, again Steven, the Canadian, with 130 key passes, massively above second place Di Maria. Pass completion rate, Diogo Costa, our goalkeeper, with 97%. Most dribbles, we're not on the top of the list here. Most tackles, we are not on the top of the list. Most clean sheets, Diogo Costa in second with 12, and fewest conceded, Diogo Costa is 4th with 27 goals conceded altogether. Looking at the player stats now, we can see in terms of goals, we've got Dani Namaso with 24, Evan Nielsen with 21, Tony Martinez with 20, Taremi with 18, Navarro with 16, so there's a lot of goals being scored. Nobody's particularly scoring 30, 40, 50 goals, but the goals are getting well spread out. Look at all these players that are chipping in with goals here. You've got the central midfielders of Grujic with 9, Nico with 8, Estaquio with 8, and then you've got Barrio with 3. So there's goals getting chipped in from the midfield. You'll see why when we go to the tactics at the end. In terms of assists, Steven Estaquio with 26, a massive campaign for him with 8 goals and 26 assists from central midfield. You can see João Mario's got 13, Nico's got 13, Tony Martinez with 11, and Dani Namaso with 10. So looking at the data hub now, we will dive in. We can see we've scored 2.88 goals per game. That's 1 more goal than expected. We conceded under 1 a game at 0.91. And in terms of the team performance, we can see we scored 98 goals compared to our XG of just under 72. We were expected to get 70 points, we got 86, and we were expected to finish second, we actually finished first, so we have outperformed ourselves there. This is exactly what you're wanting in attack. You want to overperform. So again, the attacking numbers, 17.56 shots per game, 17 dribbles per game, fouls against 14.65, so we're averaging better than the league as a whole. And the defensive numbers, the only thing that we are not doing too well in is fouls made per game, but you don't want to make too many fouls, so I will live with that. But there we have it, we've won 4 trophies with Porto with this tactic. We'll now jump ahead and look at Aston Villa and see how they got on this season. Here we are at the end of the season with Aston Villa, and as you can see, we have finished in 4th place and qualified for the Champions League. Take that, Unai Emery. So, in the Europa Conference League, unfortunately, we finished in the semi-finals, losing out to Eintracht Frankfurt. In the FA Cup, we lost out in the quarter-finals to Tottenham, and we lost out in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup to Liverpool. So we've been beaten by some pretty big sides in the Cups. We've not lost out to any lower league sides, which is always good to see. Take a look at the Europa League Conference run. I want to see exactly how we got on. We will take a look at the group stages and see where we were. So we topped our group won 6 games out of 6, the goal difference was 23. We beat TNS 3-0 and 10-1, beat Austria Vienna 4-0 and 4-1, beat Club Brugge 1-0 and 3-0. Absolutely phenomenal. So that'll mean that we went into the round of 16. We beat Rangers on penalties after drawing 3 each. Quarter-finals, we beat Fiorentina 4-2. In the semi-finals, there we see it, we actually lost it in penalties to Frankfurt, which is very, very gutting. We'll go back and we'll look and see how close we were in these quarter-finals. The quarter-final to Tottenham, if we take a look, we unfortunately lost 3-0 at home. We were absolutely battered there. And in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, how did we do? We were battered 3-0 again at home to Liverpool. But the main thing is we have qualified for the Champions League, and as you can see just briefly here, Zaniolo had a great season. 21 goals, 9 player of the matches. Take a look at the league table as a whole. We won 22, drew 6, lost 10, scored a massive 89 goals, only 2 less goals than Liverpool and 1 less than Manchester City. We conceded 52 unfortunately, but we finished with 72 points. We've qualified for the Champions League, so that is absolutely phenomenal. For the team stats, we'll take a look. Most goals, we're sitting in 3rd. Most shots taken, we're up there in 4th. Few shots against, sitting in 7th. In terms of possession, we're down in 8th with 49% of the ball. Most dribbles, we are top with 747, and I don't think we'll be too high up here, but we are 7th in terms of conceded goals. For the player stats, as we saw, Zaniolo in 3rd with 21 goals. Ollie Watkins up there as well with 14. In terms of the assists, we've not got anybody on here. In terms of the shot numbers, Zaniolo with 83 shots, Haaland with 125 is absolutely insane. He's just a monster, that man. Dribbles per game, Zaniolo is up here everywhere. In terms of passing, we're not there. Most key passes, Douglas Luiz with 78. Tackles won, we've got John McGinn, get in there, the Scotsman, 98 tackles. Most dribbles per game, we're not on here. And the few, as you can see, we've got Martinez with 45, and he has 13 clean sheets for that. And then looking at the player stats, take a look at the goals scored. Zaniolo with 31 in all competitions, Ollie Watkins himself with 21, Moussa Diaby with 18, Jacob Ramsey 14, Douglas Luiz and Tielemans both on 11, and Pau Torres, the centre-back, with 10. In terms of the assists, we've got Douglas Luiz with 14, Tielemans with 12, Luca Digne and Diaby with 11, and Zaniolo and Jacob Ramsey each with 10. Matty Cash at right back getting 9 assists as well. So as you can see, goals and assists are getting really well spread throughout this team, and it's exactly what you'd like to see in a squad. In terms of the data hub, we can see we scored 2.34 goals per game, higher than our expected 1.79. Conceded 1.37 per game. We were expected to concede a little bit more, but it's not too bad that we've actually done better than we thought. In terms of the attacking numbers, again, sitting at 13.53 shots per game, 84% pass completion rate, under the league average, which is not great, but we managed to get just under 20 dribbles per game. And the defensive numbers, you can see here, we kept 13 clean sheets, which is 12.75 more than the Premier League average, so that is absolutely phenomenal. And we'll take a look in terms of the XG table here. We can see we're meant to score 72 goals, we scored 89. We're meant to get 62 points, we get 72. We're meant to finish 7th, we finished 4th. So there you have it, another great season, this time for Aston Villa. Knocked out in 3 cup competitions, however, against big opposition, and we've managed to qualify for the Champions League. So I know that Musterman FM will be very happy with that result. We will now move on to Crawley and see exactly how this fares with a lower league side. Here we are with Crawley, who are expected to finish dead last in League 2. We've managed to finish in 14th, well above where we were expected to finish. In the FA Cup, we've unfortunately lost in the first round to Leyton Orient. Carabao Cup lost in the first round to Northampton, and we've been knocked out in the second round of the Papa John's Trophy to Peterborough United. For the league table, we'll take a look at the league table in full here. We can see we managed to win 15, draw 13 and lose 18 with a goal difference of -4. In terms of goals scored overall, we can see 73 goals scored, 77 conceded, so we're scoring a lot of goals, just not keeping them out as we would like to do. In terms of the overall stats, we can see we're not in terms of the most goals, most shots we're not up there, few shots against. I don't think we're going to be up anywhere in here, but we were. Tackles won up there, 979. Most dribbles made actually, 696. Tennis conceded, we're not going to be here, so we'll not dwell on that too much. Player overview, RB anywhere. Most goals, nobody there. Same with assists. Man of the matches, nobody. Key shots, nobody. Most key passes, 4th with Liam Kelly with 93. That's good to see. Best pass completion rate, not there. Dribbles made, not there for the individuals. Tackles won, nope. And in terms of the goalkeeping stats, not either. So for the squad numbers, take a look. We've got 18 goals from Danilo, 17 from Adam Campbell, and then from there it drops down to single digits. But it's kind of expected when you are predicted to finish in last place that you will not score a lot of goals. In terms of the assist numbers, Jeremy Kelly, who knows what position he was playing. He could have been playing a number of positions, because as you can see, he is Mr. Versatile here. So he'll have been playing, who knows where. I'm going to guess he'll have played right back, just from our formation. Looking at the data hub, we'll take a look. We've scored 1.59 goals per game, more than we were expected to, and we've conceded slightly more than expected, which is not great, but again, we're expected to finish bottom. We've massively overperformed that. So the only thing that we kind of did poorly in terms of league averages, cross completion is down and the pass completion is slightly down, but I'm not too worried about that. In terms of defending, we made less fouls than most teams. Final third passes was a wee bit down, and in terms of goals conceded, we were down as well. However, we were expected to finish in 13th in terms of XG, but we finished in 14th, so around about where we thought. Actual points expected to get 60, we got 58, but we scored 6 more goals than the 67.6 predicted. So we have it. That has been how this tactic performs with a lower league side. We'll now go back to Porto and we'll see exactly how this tactic sets up, and I'll just talk you through a few of those key players there. And here we are with the tactic itself. This is how Jose Mourinho, in my eyes, set up his Porto side with a 4-3-1-2. We'll run through all the players. So in goals, you've got a goalkeeper and defence set to normal. You've got the 2 full-backs, both on get further forward. They provide some width down the midfield. They provide a lot of assists, as you saw from some of the player stats there. The central defenders, both your central defenders, we're not being fancy with ball playing defenders. Their main job is just to be the defender, both just set to normal. We have the ball winning midfielder in the defend duty in the centre of the 3, with a box to box midfielder, both with run wide with the ball as the personal instructions. What will happen is he'll sit slightly deeper, while the 2 box to box midfielders will play out a wee bit to the side up here. It'll create kind of like a 4-4-2 diamond, which Porto did tend to play occasionally under Mourinho. However, he did usually set up with a 3 across the middle, and then 1 would just drop back. In behind the strikers, we've got the attacking midfielder. He's got to move into channels because he'll just kind of drift around and create a front 3 when in attack. And the 2 strikers are just set to normal, both advanced forwards. We are going with a positive mentality. In the possession, we're going slightly more direct, we're passing into space, we're running at the defence. And in the transition, we are playing the ball to the back line, the centre backs and the full backs. We are countering, but we are regrouping. Most tactics you'll see a counter press. However, as we all know, Jose Mourinho doesn't tend to press much with his teams, but he does like to defend well, but counter when and as needed. In terms of possession, we're going with a mid-block and we're going with a standard defensive line, which is unusual for Football Manager. Most people are, putting everything high defensive line, high pressures, but this isn't the case here. We're trying to press more often, but we're not keeping these lines up high. We're not going to be pressing constantly, which is why we have the try to press more often. We've got get stuck in, because that's just the way Jose Mourinho plays. So there we have it. That is the 4-3-1-2. And as you can see, the midfielders are key to this tactic, as we saw. Estaquio, 26 assists and 8 goals. Nico here had 8 goals, 13 assists. So, as we saw, usually it will play out like this. They'll kind of drift wide a wee bit here, but usually it'll set up kind of like this in game, but it starts off as a 4-3-1-2. So as always, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Let me know who you would like to see a tactical recreation of next, either a current manager and a current side, or a historical one like this. As always, I will see you next time.